Welcome to our episode on compound interest, which is when payment consists of an initial amount and an accumulated amount based on interest. It's actually a really easy topic, and I'll show you why, because all we need is this equation, which is A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the power of N times T. And I know that looks complicated, but I'll break it down to you. So A basically means the future value after you do all the interest stuff, which is just going to be the product of everything. P is the initial amount that you're given. So anything that you might have had at first before investing is your initial amount. R would be the rate of interest. So any percentage that the money would be changing by. N is the number of times the interest is compounded per unit T. And T would obviously mean time. So first, let's see this first problem that we have. Suppose you invest $5,000 in a savings account with an annual interest rate of 4%, compounded quarterly. Calculate the future value of the investment after 3 years. So using what we know, with the number 5,000, 4%, compounded quarterly after 3 years, using all of the information we know, we are going to transfer that into the equation. So P in this problem would be 5,000 because it's the initial money that we start with. And R would be 4%, which is equal to 0.04. And then N would be 4 because when you compound quarterly, it means that you do it 4 times per year. And T would be 3 years, which is what it says right there. So using all of that, we plug everything into the equation, and it says that A equals 5,000 times 1 plus 0.04 over 4 to the power of 4 times 3. And from here, we just gotta solve it. So first, we're gonna start by adding 1 plus 0.04 over 4. That gets us 1.01. Then we multiply 4 times 3 to get 12 and get 1.01 to the power of 12. And getting that would be 1.12. And if you multiply that by 5,000, you would get as your end result $5,600. Now, before we move on to our second example, we are just going to look at some common words that are used for the value of N. So as we saw, quarterly means 4, which is going to be 4 times per year. So use 4 for N. Annually would just be 1 because time is usually measured in years. So it would just be 1. Monthly would be 12 because there are 12 months in a year. Weekly would be 52 because there are 52 weeks in a year. And semi-annually would mean 2. Now let's move on to our second problem. It says that you want to have $10,000 in a savings account after 2 years. If the annual rate is $6, compounded semi-annually, what is the initial amount you should invest? So for this problem, instead of trying to find the A, we're actually going to try to find P. So now that we need to work a little bit backwards here. So first, we're going to fill in everything that we know. So we know that we want $10,000 at the end. So that would be A. We know that the rate is 6%. So it's going to be 0.06. Then we know that it's being compounded semi-annually, so it's going to be 2. And it says 2 years, so that's going to be it for time. Now, since we're trying to find P this time, we're actually going to divide A by everything else. So I want you guys to try this problem on your own, plug in everything that we have right now, and see if you can get the right answer. Welcome back. So for this problem, what you should have done was plug in 10,000 over 1 plus 0.06 over 2 to the power of 2 times 2. And if you simplified it all correctly, you should have gotten 8,888. And that's going to be it for this episode. Leave a like if you found it helpful. Leave a comment if you still have any doubts. And thank you so much for watching.